Hello, all my merrymakers. I am Becca, and welcome to Bookmark Monday. For all my oldies and goodies who keep on coming back to this section, thank you very much. For anybody new here, welcome. Bookmark Monday is my now weekly video where I take a pattern source and I go through it a little bit and I pick one or two patterns so that maybe one day in the future I can make them. Makes decision making a little easier, especially when I have pattern books with multiple patterns that I want to do. Um, we are almost done with our current pattern source, which is Knitting the Galaxy, the Star Wars one that we've been doing. We've been doing the section Inspired Apparel. This will be the last time we do Inspired Apparel. There'll be a couple more patterns this time just because there weren't exactly enough to evenly divide it, but I'm sure you'll enjoy it. I know I will. Let's get started. All right, so where we left off last time, the first pattern we're going to be looking at are the R2D2 mittens by Therese Sharp. They are a level 3 lightsaber. I'm not sure how high did the difficulties of these go. I forgot to look that up. Okay, 3 is the top. So 1 is beginner, 2 is intermediate, and 3 is advanced. So keep that in mind. Because these are definitely advanced. Look at that. Look at the detail on R2D2. Look at the fact that there are actual words spelled out on the back of that mitten. That is a lot of detail, a lot of dedication. I might make those for the right person with the right amount of money, but let's get into that a little bit more about what these entail. So this only comes in one size, where the hand circumference is 8.5 inches. The length is 13.75 inches. The yarn they suggest is a fingering weight yarn, and the needles that they suggest are a size 2mm needle and a size 3mm needle. Again, if you really like R2D2, those would be the ones for you. Otherwise, that'd be a lot of work. Or the next one we've got is Wookiee Socks, also level advanced, by Natalie Sheldon. Again, a lot of intricate little detail there. I hope you can see the Wookiee. Now, again, this is one size. So first foot circumference is 7.5, with the leg length being 9.5 inch. I haven't looked into detail on this, but it looks like it might be an afterthought heel. So maybe that's how they can get away with telling you how long to make it without knowing your foot size. It calls for 2.25mm needles and 2.75mm needles. Yeah, it's an afterthought heel. All right. Oh man, this next one. This is the Darth Vader pullover from the front of the book. This is designed by Stephanie Lotvin. This is also an advanced level. Look at that color work. Again, if you're a huge Darth Vader fan / Star Wars fan, I could see this being a thing. It does come in a good amount of sizes, which I am very thrilled about. It goes anywhere from an extra small to a 4 extra large. With a chest starting at 34-inch circumference and going all the way up to 60 and 1/4 inch. The length is anywhere from 22 inches to 26.5 inches. It does call for worsted weight yarn, so if you needed to make an in-between size, maybe you could fiddle with the gauge a little bit. And it calls for 4.5 millimeter needles and 5.5 millimeter needles. And that's probably for binding on, casting on, binding off. And yeah, this is color work. It's not double knitting with so I think if I went into it deeper, it might talk about how to know where to place those various things so it looks more like Darth Vader. The next one are Darth Maul mittens. These are designed by Therese Sharp, and this is also an advanced level pattern. Now, I don't think they did a very good job with their color choices there. You can hardly see that it's supposed to be Darth Maul, even in like me looking at this picture, like kind of have to squint a little bit. I found this suggestion of when you're trying to find high contrast colors, take a picture of your yarns in black and white, and if you can't tell the difference between the two yarns in black and white, then they are not high contrast, and you shouldn't use them for a high contrast project such as this. Again, it says that it's one size, a hand circumference of 8 3/4 inches, and a length of 12 1/4 inch. It does call for fingering weight yarn. The needles it calls for are 2.5 millimeter needles and 3 millimeter needles. Now I'm going to show you this other picture because much like the R2-D2, there's a second side. Much like the R2-D2, it's got color work. So I don't feel like there could be more contrast between those two colors, personally. I'd show you the chart, but then, copyright infringement. And then, let me see, I think this is the last one. Yep. So this is the last pattern in Inspired Apparel. This is the Clone Trooper hat designed by Tanis Gray, and its level is given as 2 lightsaber or intermediate, and it's pretty darn cute. Look at that. Now, I'm pretty sure that's just 2-stranded color work. Now, it does say that there's 2 sizes here, just 2. It says sizes shown in small and then large. So you've got either a circumference of 19 1/4 inches or 22 inches, a length of 9 inches or 9.5 inches. Now, it does call for fingering weight yarn. So if your head's not quite big enough to handle a 22-inch hat, but it's too big to be shoved into a 19-inch hat, it's a big disparity. But again, if this is a pattern repeat, I can tell, which just again by looking at it, I can tell it's a pattern repeat. Then I could see moving up to DK. I would shy away from baby or sport just because unless it's like the gauge is perfect, depending on how big the repeat is. Looking at the hat without reading the pattern, I would guess that this is an 18 to 20 stitch repeat. So again, DK would be the biggest I would go, personally. And I've got a bigger head, but not 22 inches big. Well, maybe 22 inches big. I've got a big head. Whereas my brother's head is even bigger than mine. He's got like a 25, 26 inch head. So, again, I might want to make the large for him using DK weight yarn. It does call for 3.25 millimeter needles. And just taking a look here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 20, roughly about a 20 stitch repeat. So, of those, if I'm marking the one I am most likely to make, it would be the hat. Because even though there's lots of detail, we're talking 2 colors, and finding DK weight yarn, which sounds like that would be the way I would go, in the right colors would be very easy for me. But, oh, I am very, very tempted to make that Darth Vader sweater for my husband. And I know the moment he put it on, he would go to my son and go, "I am your father." It would be worth it just for that. Oh, man. There's nothing that says that I can't make multiple. But again, if I am to mark the one that I'm most likely going to make, it's gonna be the hat. I could see making that for a lot of my friends are Star Wars geeks like I am. So that is it for this week and for this section. I think we've got maybe one more section. Yeah, one more section. And that is home decor. So that will be next week. So again, if there's a particular pattern source you would like, type of pattern source that you would like me to look for in my patterns, like, don't say a specific, like, Crochet Dungeons and Dragons. I don't have that book. But if you say an amigurumi crochet book, I probably have at least 3 of those, if not more, to be completely honest. Sorry, I'm jostling the camera. Or, hey, can we look at some knitted scarves? I would love to hear from you guys, and so if you want to comment those, I would very appreciate it. If you don't feel comfortable commenting for whatever reason, you can always email me directly at happyyarngirl2ys@gmail.com. If you liked this video, make sure you give it a like. Help me reach more people out there. If you're not a subscriber, please think about subscribing. I have a lot of yarny content and you might enjoy it, so please hit the subscribe button. And you might also want to hit that notification bell so that you can see when I make a new video. I usually try to tell you, but just in case. Hey, if you really, really like my videos, share this one with somebody you know. In the meantime, make what makes you merry. Ciao.